Eons ago, I reviewed part 1 of this story, and I only reviewed that because I wanted to review part 2, which is really good. Most people who were watching me channel back then have likely moved on. They probably got fed up of waiting to find out what happened to the Thunderbolts and Superman in this story. This is Thunderbolts 153 by Jeff Parkman, and it has a cover by Gregory Landsman. We start the issue off with Troll Girl, and I do not think I am ever going to talk about Troll Girl in a video ever. But she has a scene with crippled John Walters, former U.S.Agent and Avenger John Walters. I will be making a video about his loss of limbs one day, so I won't get into it now. Here is our recap page, and the main thing is that Superman from the Justice League has joined the Thunderbolts. He joined the team under the false pretense that he was one of the heroic versions of Superman out there in the multiverse. But the twist at the end of the last issue was the reveal he was one of the evil ones. I am really glad they didn't pad this story out. It's just a 2-part quick story. There is no long, sprawling web of deceit or vague foreshadowing. It's just in and out. The story, it's a fine idea, but the story didn't need to be longer than it is. The main Thunderbolt we are going to be seeing this issue is Juggernaut. I have spoke before about how Juggernaut is one of them bad guy characters that I always like to see displaying some iota of good. He's actually a lot like Sandman. And by the way, my challenge is still active. I cannot mention the writer who created Thunderbolts and who uncreated Sandman. My point that I was going to make is Juggernaut isn't inherently evil. He's just a bruiser and a bully who fell into a life of villainy because his muscle was all he really had. So, in a series like this, and of all the attempts to redeem the character, I think Thunderbolts was the absolute best series for Juggernaut's story to be told in. Here, he saved Song Girl and Moonstump from drowning. Superman knocked them out and left them to die. Here is an advert that fills me with anxiety and depression. I don't want to look at it. We have a funny comedy bit where Juggernaut's teammate, Casper, he is thrilled at the idea of giving Moonstump mouth to mouth. Casper is another character that was brilliantly spotlighted in this run. The main thing we are going to see in this issue is a Juggernaut versus Superman fight. And my God, is it every bit the fight you want it to be? Long have I been of the opinion that Jeff Parkman writes some of the best fights in comics, but I thought about it quite a bit beforehand, and I am willing to even say Jeff Parkman writes the best fights in comics, period. Not only are they always very well choreographed and well plotted action sequences, but stuff like characters punching each other carries so much more weight when he does it. There's usually always some character component in the mix too. Like here, this is kind of Juggernaut's big hero moment. And I would be letting down all my viewers if I didn't acknowledge that during this run, Moonstump's costume gets a Thunderbolts tramp stamp. So, with the fight, this is such an enjoyable, such an entertaining, such a just great fight. It is two big strong men clobbering each other, but every hit seems to carry so much purpose. I think another thing making Jeff Parkman's fights so strong is that you enter into them and you have no real idea who is going to emerge victorious. Even as you read them, like here, Juggernaut, he seems a lock. He gets Superman down on the ground and starts pounding on him. But then Superman turns it around again. I think technically Superman wins the fight. But then Casper arrives to turn the tables on him. Casper comes from Iron Man comics. He got a very great redesign and practically total revamp, but not quite at the expense of getting rid of what came before. He is one of the most fun characters in this run. And it ends with a badly beaten Superman felled by Kryptonite, and he now knows fear, so he burns at the touch of the Swamp Thing. What a fucking ending. I have been talking a lot with someone whose breaking point at Marvel was Onslaught Man. They feel about everything after that crossover the way that I feel about everything after the 2012 Avengers vs. Excellent Men crossover. I can see eye to eye with the notion that titles like The Avengers and Captain America and Fantastic Force are either consistently terrible after 1996 or the eyes offered since then are simply not enough. But then there is something like this, and this is so good. This is... Obviously, comics have moved on quite a lot stylistically since 1996. There has been the introduction of a lot of decompression and the discontinuation of thought balloons. But something like this is really what comics should still be aiming to be today. Jeff Parkman, not being a big name in the industry, is one of many reasons comics are so dreadful today. This guy belonged on every and any comic he wanted. He had some misses, he had some mediocre stuff, but he could actually write comics. 7 thumbs up.